Hope you're starting to feel better already and that you are totally back to 100% super quick. It is no fun to have a fever, even if you kind of feel okay the rest of the time. It's just kind of messes with you a little bit. So I hope that goes away soon. I loved everything that you sent me for what you've been working on this week. I can't wait to talk about all of it. And the first thing that we want to go over is actually that there's going to be a competition this month. So for the next 3 weeks, there's going to be a practice competition, and all you're going to do is keep track of your practice minutes. So I'm going to email you a paper, and it's going to have little squares for each day of the week for the next 3 weeks. The competition starts today, so after you watch this video, if you want to get some practice minutes and start today, you totally can. If you'd rather wait to start tomorrow, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be that you practice every single day for the next 3 weeks. Just do what you're able to do. And of course, the more minutes you get, the more of a chance you have of winning a prize. So the top 3 students with the most practice minutes are going to win prizes. Don't know what they'll be yet. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like to have as prizes, let me know. But all you have to do is keep track of the different categories that you spend your practice time on. Before I started this video, I actually had to restart it because something got in my eye all of a sudden. It's still kind of there, so if I just start tearing up a little bit, I promise that's all that it is. It's kind of strange, I know. But just to put that out there before I just start crying on camera, if that is a thing, there you go, now you know why. Okay, anyway, your categories for your practice competition. Your first category, we're combining your time for theory and technique. So theory, is kind of a one and done kind of thing. Once you do it, that's it. So we're just gonna lump it in with your time on technique. All that means is each time that you practice your technique or each time that you spend your time working on theory, you just wanna time yourself, keep track of your minutes, and write them down for that day, okay? So if you spend 2 minutes working on your technique and it takes you 5 minutes to do your theory assignment for that day, then you would write down a 7 next to theory and technique, okay? That's it, super easy, okay? Your next category is for songs and compositions, okay? So anytime you spend practicing your songs, your minutes would go in this category. Anytime you spend practicing an old composition that you've come up with, that would go in this category. And when we have new composition prompts, that time will also go in this category. So this is definitely gonna be your most minutes are gonna be in this category, okay? Your next category is review. So review is always a really good habit to be in when you're doing your practice time. It can be really helpful to either start or end or do both with an older piece that you just like to play, okay? It helps keep those older pieces fresh and in your head and in your fingers so that whenever you wanna share them or just play them because you like them for fun, you don't have to struggle through relearning them because you haven't played it for 2 months, So it's a good habit to be in, and any time you spend reviewing old pieces for the next 3 weeks counts for the competition. And then the last category is just for fun. So if you are just kind of playing around with stuff, or if you are sounding out melodies on your own, or just kind of not really doing anything in particular, just having fun playing around at the keyboard, that time counts too. So if you're able to keep track of it, that can also help you in the competition, okay? You just do what you're able to do, and then make sure that you keep track of your minutes. You'll bring it back to me at the end of September, so that's 3 weeks from today, and then I will figure out the winners over that following weekend, okay? Yay! All right, on we go. So our theory looked perfect. Good job on your chords. I forgot to look at what we're gonna do next, so I'm gonna do that now. Okay. Oh yes, we're just gonna finish the page. That's probably why I didn't write it down. Okay, so page 24, we did the first 2 sections, right? We worked on our C chord, our G chord, and our F chord, and drawing them on the keyboard and on the staff, looking good. Now, section number 54 is gonna have you do a similar thing, but instead of just doing the chords, you're gonna do the 5 notes of the pentascale, okay? They call it C position because if you line up all your fingers nice and neat on 5 white keys in a row, that basically gives you that position, okay? It's the same notes that you would use for the pentascale. So that's kind of how you wanna think of it for this exercise. So So you're going to write in the letters for the C position, or what would you play if you were playing the C pentascale. And then you're going to do the same for the G pentascale and the F pentascale. And if you get stuck or confused, of course, you can always go to the piano and play around a little bit to see what sounds correct to you, just to jog your memory. Sometimes it helps to play through it instead of just trying to come up with it in your brain all by yourself. Of course, you can also look at your technique pages in your binder, right? Because we've worked on all of our pentascales before, and you still have those pages with the reminder of what to play in your binder. So that would be another resource that you could use if you're getting kind of stuck or you're not sure if you're doing it right, okay? All right, then section number 55, we are gonna use whole notes here to actually do the same 5 notes, but on the staff. So it's very similar to what we did on the top half of the page, but instead of working with chords, we're working with the 5 notes in the pentascale, okay? So I think that's pretty much it. Give it a try this week. Again, if you get stuck, you have a couple things you can check to help you out. And of course, you can always ask your mom to help you if you're really just struggling to remember as well, okay? So that is, see, and I just lost it. Page 24, gotta write it down for me or I'll forget to. Page 24, and we're gonna finish the page and do number 54 and 55 for this week. And however long it takes you to do that, you get to keep track of those minutes on your practice log. All right, let's go on. Our B flat blocked triads. You had like triad palooza on your recording. I loved it. So we got our B flat chords down. I think you'll remember B flat chords for the rest of your life. You've just got it so locked in. That's awesome. So now what we're gonna do this week is we're gonna do our B flat broken triads, okay? It'll be the exact same thing, but instead of all of the notes together, we're gonna play one at a time, right? So it's the same pattern that we've used for our other broken triads, but I want you to break up the notes. You'll play B flat, D, F all the way up, and then coming down, we reverse it, right? So it'll be B flat, F, D, B flat, F, D, B flat. We just go the opposite direction, okay? So we will go ahead and do that for next time. Our lullaby is looking great. Very nice progress on this, and I love how every time I hear you play this, every week that we've done it, something has gotten better, first of all. And you have always paid a lot of attention to your counting, which I love. So you have done a really nice job with this piece. We're looking great with this one. So I also love how much attention you're paying to the ending, because it's a little tricky to remember all of the changes that we have to keep track of for the ending, I know. So you're doing a great job with that. I think that's mostly what I want to keep focusing on for this week. Just still getting more and more comfortable with the ending. You're doing a great job with it so far, making good progress. We'll just keep that up for this week, okay? Let's see, our chord composition. I can't read from way down there. Okay, there we go. I wrote too tiny. All right, so our chord composition. I love what you added for the staccato section. It's cool to me because it seems like when you play the piece now, you're just kind of having fun with it the whole time, you know, which I love, because that's like the best part about coming up with your own stuff, right? It's just fun to play. You get to have fun with it. So I love how you included a staccato section for this week. I think it fits really cool in the song. And I think we were thinking of title ideas. So I'm not sure if you had come up with anything yet for today. If not, keep brainstorming some ideas for next time, because we want to see what it kind of makes you feel or think of, or if it brings a picture to your head, anything like that, that we can use to try and come up with a title that will fit the song. I do want you to keep practicing it for me one more week. I'm going to want to hear it one more time next week, I think, because you've done a really nice job with this one. And then if you want it to be a little longer, we could add a soft section. So this is entirely up to you. You don't have to make it any longer. It's a pretty good length where we have it. But if you'd like it to be just a little bit longer, after our staccato section, we could add a quiet section. It could be staccato or legato. It could repeat something from the beginning, or it could be brand new. It's really up to you, okay? So if you feel like you wanna add just one more thing to it, that would be the next thing that we would add. And if you're happy with it where it is, then just keep working on it for me for this week. One more week with this one, and then we're gonna come up with a title, okay? Alrighty, let's see. We're gonna go back and do our face jibbity game next week when I see you. You did awesome with that last time, so I'm excited to do that again next week. And then we're gonna start a new song today, actually, as well, since we're getting closer to being done with the lullaby. So it's gonna be in this book, and we are gonna go on. Did I skip it? There we go. Now, hold on. Let me double check. I did double check, but now I'm questioning it. Okay, yes, our last one in here was Bravery at Sea. See, this is the problem. Sometimes I don't take very good notes for myself, and I happened to take good notes this time, but I thought that maybe I didn't. I did, we're good. Okay, so the next piece we're gonna start is on page 20, and it's called Rain, Rain. So last week, we added a staccato section to our chord composition. Well, our new song is almost entirely staccato notes. So we're getting lots of staccato practice in here the next couple of weeks, including last week. So we're just gonna go over the first line for today, okay? Now this song is kind of interesting because we actually have something in our key signature. We don't really have much very often, but we do have something here. So this is gonna be a B flat, and it tells us that we're gonna be in the key of F major. And if we remember our F pentascale, it's all white keys except for, I will show you, the B flat. All right? If we were to do the whole scale, it's definitely all white keys except for that B flat in there, okay? So that's what that key signature tells us there. Now, like I said, we're just gonna do the first line. Okay, air conditioning. Sorry about that. And it's going to be almost all staccato notes, and we're just gonna do one hand at a time, okay? So I'm gonna kind of help you out by showing you what each part is gonna look like for each hand, so that way you have something to double check in case you're getting stuck with reading through the notes on your own. But I'm gonna go back so you can see my hands here. Both your hands are going to start, if we use the theory book term, in F position, right? Like if I was gonna play an F pentascale, this is where my hands would go, right? Okay, so I'm gonna start with the left hand first because there's a little bit more going on in the left hand, all right? So left hand is gonna start with some skips in the first measure. And then we have a rest, a nice whole rest for the whole measure. Come back in on measure 3, and this time we're going to have some steps. We're gonna be stepping down for left hand. And then a very not staccato note at the end there. Now for right hand, again, just doesn't have quite as much to do. Right hand has a whole rest on the first measure, so nothing. We come in on measure 2, and just like how left hand started, we're gonna start with some skips. So here's right hand on measure 2. And then measure 3, we get another break. A nice little rest here. Whole rest, nothing for the whole measure. And then measure 4 also starts with a rest. So much resting. Okay, so measure 4, we have a quarter rest, and then we have a little bit of a bigger interval here. Okay, not stepping or skipping there. We have more of a whoa! Whoa! All right, sorry about that. Okay. That was, I don't know if this is gonna be upside down now. I think it was like this. Okay. Sorry for how loud I bet that was. That was not expected. Okay, we'll just put you right here. All right, before I get to Cloverfield here, that takes care of Rain, Rain. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna have you start that, like I said, just hands alone, and you could see lots of staccato notes going on here, right? All right, I think that is everything. I better stop this now before I break it for real. And feel better soon, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.